Well, I just got my wheels in from Chris Kyington at Hot Rods About Boyd, and oh my God, look at these wheels. Look how wide that wheel is. It fits perfectly. I got about a ½ inch of clearance on the back. I may move that around a little bit once I get my tire on it. You can see the tire that's going on this thing, but boy, doesn't that look like a trash can almost? And look at that. That's nice. So let me get these up on here. I'm gonna mount these myself, I think, and see how this looks. And then we'll start setting our ride height. Well, I finally got my wheels and tires in, and got them somewhat mocked up on here. I knew I was going to do a little bit of framework to get them in place, but it looks like I'm going to have to do a little bit more than I was expecting, because I found that this frame rail coming down this driver's side is bent a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and straighten that up. But in doing so, I'm just going to go ahead, I think, and cut the rear of the frame off and move them in about 1 inch, and then weld all this back up together. I'm loving the way these B-Box Glasswork fenders are looking on here. With that 3 inches wider on here, it brings it right out flush with the running board on both sides. So you can see in the back of it, just gives it that really meaty look. I saw a truck that had some wide tires on a 55 Ford truck at the Nationals that had some big wide tires under it, and they just narrowed the rear end with the stock fenders, and it made the truck look so tall and skinny and kind of top heavy, and I didn't like that look. So this way we're just going wide with it, as wide as we can go with these 3 inches fenders, and then into wherever it takes to make the inside of the tire work. So let me give you a little closer look at what I'm fixing to do. Inside here, you can see how close it's, I mean, it's all but touching it right there. And I'd like to have about a 3/4 inch right there on both sides. This frame rail on this side's already bent right here. I need to straighten it up anyway. So I'm going to cut the frame here and here, bring both these frame rails in, and then redesign all this stuff and make it look a lot nicer than what it does now, because I'm probably not going to put a floor in this truck, probably just going to put a tonneau cover, and then raise the tonneau cover up and you can see all this. So I'm going to try to make all this look pretty decorative and nice. But keep in mind, I've only got months to go here to have this whole entire truck painted and ready to go to Las Vegas. So I'm going to jump in here today, get out my plasma cutter, and cut all this stuff out and redo it. So let's get to work. Well, I just want to give you a look at, I got these fenders off, of how cool that is and how wide these tires are. The tread's right around 18 inches and the tire's about a little over 20 each one. So huge tire. I love it. That wheel. Looks pretty good. Now I'm going to get my plasma cutter here and start chopping all this out. Now that I got everything taken off of it, it's a lot less intimidating. Went ahead and leveled my frame. It's dead perfect level, exactly where I'm fixing to cut this. And I'm going to take my little plasma cutter here and I'm fixing to cut these frame rails off, and I'm going to cut this center out of it and then clean all this up and then move these in about 1 inch and then reform all this back where it goes here, making some kind of little decorative shock mount right here, and then I've left this one in place for now for support. And yeah, we'll cut, then when I get all that box and plated and done, then I'll take this one out. So let's cut these frame rails off. All right, here it is, chopped loose. So let's get it out of there and start whittling on that piece. It's all cut out. Well, I've been grinding and welding for here for about 2 hours now, but I've got all these frame rails cleaned up, ready to go back on. I went ahead and straightened that one while it was off, and you can see I moved it in about 1 inch on both sides. Now I've got spacers under here right now. I'm fixing to yank those spacers out of the wheels. They're a 1/4 inch spacer on each wheel to where I could clear my frame before. And then I'm going to pull these in to where they are going to sit factory. They're set for good. And then fabricate me some plates with this and weld all this back together. So let me give you a little bit closer look. So I got clearance on my tires. You can see where it's cut, and I'll just overlay and gusset that back up, and then make my cross members. Well, I was wrapping up the bed, fixing to cut out the inner wheel houses, and I noticed that the wheelhouse on the right-hand side was measuring a little off from the one on the left. And we were almost done with that. We got the bed part done, and then I was going to finish out that rear end part, and then we'd tear this thing apart and start prepping for paint. But 3 months out, I find out that this piece of this front frame was put in just about 1/4 of an inch off. And then when the back wheels got put on, they were put about 1/4 inch, if not maybe 1/2 an inch time it translated through the frame here. So I had to come in here and I had to cut this off. First, me and Jeff blew this apart in about 2 hours. Had to take everything completely apart. Then I'm gonna have to cut all this off, cut all those plates off, fabricate new plates, reset every bit of this, and then put all this back together where we were, and then go back to the bed work. But in doing this away, I can set this front end just absolutely perfect. I can set my kingpin, my caster right here on my upper and lower ball joint, just perfect to the right height, make this perfect, make the rear back end perfect. So we'll just take advantage of it. Even though we got to back up, we can really set this up nice this time. So it's getting about time to go back to work, but it does look really cool all apart. That thing there looks cool. I love the back tires, the way they look. So yeah, we'll start whittling this part tomorrow, and hopefully a couple of days I'll have this back to where we were, and then we'll put it all back together, and then we'll do the bed stuff again. So yeah, let's go to work.